Politics, business, security, health, society. Nothing escapes the spotlight.
This is your head start into Nigeria.
Do you know that advertising helps to reach out to potential clients or customers, makes you visible to the globe, helps increase sales and creates massive awareness on what you do, thereby increasing your profits or giving ideal results? And Melody 107.7 FM is calling out to brands, companies, institutions, organizations, businessmen and women to complete adverts with us for visibility and recognition. Melody 107.7 FM is located at number 6 Melody House, Akintoye Street, BRT Bus Stop, Yanopaja, Lagos. Visit us on all social media platforms at Melody FM 1077 or email us at melody1077fm@gmail.com or call our marketing department on 08095111077 08095111077. Stay cool with Melody.
On your favorite radio station. Melody 107.7 FM. Stay tuned.
Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Good day to you wherever are listening to us from across the globe. It's another refreshing package of from the Dailies, that radio station, Melody 107.7 FM, where we get to take you through stories that made it to the front pages and even in our pages of legitimate Nigerian newspapers that we could lay our hands on. And we're also live on Facebook and YouTube at Melody 107.7 FM. I am Matthew Oluwasegun Ijabiken MY, but I'm not doing this alone. I have the latest Okoya with the latest husband in sound joining us this morning. Good morning. And
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're listening to us this morning. Welcome to today's edition of From the Dailies. It has been a while I've been on this show, but it feels good to be back. Let's get right to it and see what the news is saying this morning.
Honorable Adimoyere, as always, thanks for joining us on this morning's edition of the program.
Well, before we even start taking any papers, let us talk to the latest Okoya. In the last few weeks now that you got married, let me ask you, how does it feel to be a married man?
You really want to take that step? That's all I have to say about it. You really have to get married. So let me leave it like that.
All right. Okay. So we can now take the papers. Okay. So from my end, I have The Nation as well as Vanguard newspapers.
All right. From my end, I'll be taking the Nigerian Tribune as well as the Punch newspaper.
All right, okay, so let's get right into it. And with the big bold one, it's saying only 6 banks are pay 1.27 trillion naira dividends despite huge profits. And it has a few riders under it. It is a conservative capital management strategy, and that's created to CIS boss. Also, CBN stopped the dividends, and that's created to Andore. It was a regulatory pushback, and that's created to Olayinka. YCBN stopped some banks. Coffee, and that's okay. Then moving on, outlook for banking industry remains constructive, and that's created to Ahimie. You can find that on page 11 for details. Okay, moving on above the master, Nigeria's economy recovering after painful reforms, and that's created to NRS, and that's on page 5 for details. Moving on, NDC crisis. Edo aggrieved members reject Utomi Galadima panel, and that's on page 36 for details. Moving on, companies behind Nigeria's stock market, 58.9 trillion naira boom. That's on page 10 for details. JAM clears 5,000 complaints in 5 days. That's on page 9 for details. Away from that, APC completes upload of all candidates ahead of a deadline. That's on page 9 for details. Moving on, NLC demands a power sector shake-up. That's on page 8. Then Oshun Oyinlola leads a PDP faction to endorse Oyebamiji. Also, Nigeria spent 3.1 trillion naira on domestic debt servicing in first quarter. Okay, all of this on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper.
Before Israel even start, I want us to start this morning from analyzing this particular story from the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, talking about the NRS, that's the Nigerian Revenue Service. The chairman says Nigeria's economic recovering after painful reforms. If you follow the trend over the weekend, this man has been taking serious bashing right, left, and center for making this particular comment. Trying to emphasize Nigerians are saying these people are cut off from reality. That is, we keep saying this like almost on a weekly basis. To the extent that we are now sounding like a broken record in this contest, whereby they are saying Nigeria's economy is recovering, after painful reform. Some will ask, how is it recovering? What impact is being felt by the ordinary Nigerian in the streets? So just last week, an article came out to tell this administration that look, you people should stop sugarcoating. I'm specifically talking to the media aides now, telling them that you guys should stop sugarcoating this whole economy, the level the country is right now economically. So I think these people need to come out to say it the way it is for Nigeria and not trying to politicize. Because, like we used to say, the people in the streets can hardly afford 3 square miles these days. Can they afford basic needs to take care of their...
And that is the message the media aid should take it to the presidency.
Yes. Another story I really want us to look at now is the NLC demanding for power sector shake-up. I think it's high time we really focus on this, taking this the power sector very seriously. We all know the millions and billions of dollars that have been sunk into this particular sector without anything positive,
coming out of that.
Yes, so many people. I think just over the weekend, some presidents of Lekki in Lagos are crying out for having not been with power for over 2 weeks now. These are things that I don't really understand how can there are communities that haven't stayed for months without even experiencing power. So this is something that we also know how this also translates into job employment, into sustainable business in the country, survival of business. So many businesses are folded up, because of having to pay more for power, having to pay more for diesel and all that to power their generator and all that. So these are critical areas that we need to look at if the country's economy needs to move forward in this contest. Yes.
All right. Now, so let me not do some repetition. Let me go straight to the cover page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning, and we have this one on PFIPC. We've been taking these stories for about maybe 4 or 5 weeks there about. Yes. I even went on my leave, saying a reps panel finally met at the EME in police custody. You find that on page 3. I know you have something to say about that. And on page 22, campaign funds. INEC to deploy technology-driven innovation to monitor parties. We have quite a number of riders under it saying what the Electoral Act says about campaign expenses. And as presidential, National Assembly campaigns begin August 19th. So most of the campaigns begin this month, and we hope, we wish every one of them the very best. Let the people vote. So, Oyo APC Guba race Olaniyan Asonike Allahu Bakari reconcile with Ali. That's on page 3. And the bold one for the Nigerian Tribune this morning says Nigerian out of the woods. Economy shows strong growth and recovery. I think that was what you were trying to react to the other time. If we say the economy is getting better, show us the proof. And some of the visible proof should be concerning welfareism, should be about security, and should show in the sustainability of the productivity of the country as a whole. So it should not be the government telling us that what they are doing is working. It should be the citizens coming out to say this you are doing is working. People will be able to say that what you are doing, kudos to you on this area, kudos to you on this area, and all of those things. So is some of the things they have to prove out to let us know how the economy is showing strong growth and recovery.
If I'm to consider that Israel, we really blame these people in government for saying all this. Nobody wants to come and say talk against a government that they are a part of. And the media aid, the spokesperson, those appointed by the presidency will definitely come and try to tell us, okay, we are doing this, we are doing that, everything is rosy, remember those 2 weeks ago when the Catholic bishop visited Tinubu, they told me the truth. They said, what's the reason why we came to see you? That you are not being told the truth. So let's come and tell you what is really happening, the true minds of, and we've been getting the reaction.
Exactly.
It's not been
the ripple effect of that statement
even from the presidency,
has not been palatable.
All right. Now another one I want to bring out was the first story you took, Israel, talking about Reps panel finally meets Adeyemi in police custody. Now this man over time for the past 3, 4, 5 days now, he's saying, look, I want to be heard. I don't want to meet with you guys in secret. My voice needs to be heard to ensure a balanced hearing. And most people are trying to say, why are the members of the House of Reps trying to,
deny this man that privilege?
That just one weekend, just yesterday, he said he wants the media to be there, he wants his lawyers to be there, just because he wants his voice to be heard. So many people will be like, is it that these people in government now talking about the parliamentarians are cool? What are they trying to hide? What do they want to come to be brought to the public domain for people to see in this particular context? Who are they shielding? What MBAs are they trying to? What MBA are they trying to protect? This man deserves a fair. We don't want a
even keeping him in custody without a fair hearing, is that not a violation of his fundamental human rights as a Nigerian?
I think the case is already in court. I think the investigation is going on, it's ongoing. So I don't want to look at it from that particular perspective right now. Yes, there's been an established crime that this particular man has committed a crime, but he has not been like you did mention, innocent until proven guilty. So I'm sure it's being kept in custody. They will tell you sometimes for his own security as well. We can look at it from that perspective. And then while investigation, still continues in this particular context.
But even in the midst of all, like you emphasized, one of the things we want to let to know is to hear his own part of the story. Some of the things is you see, we live in a society where we say there is freedom of speech, but there you are careful of what you say because you don't know what will come for you. Imagine the case of this recent popular musicians, that is the P Square and their elder brother. What is going on now that he is just voicing out after almost 20 years of what he has been going through and all of those things. So people should learn to voice out, but then the voicing out should be done properly, because this Mr. Adeyemi now, you will notice that what he's requesting for is that the media should be there, his lawyer should be there. It's not like it's something that he's going to do in the secret and then they will carry his own words for him outside. Everybody will hear, everybody will be able to assess what he's saying and be able to critically have the
first-hand information now directly from the horse's mouth. We don't want to start calling the guy's speech can be distorted, by tilted to favor one party. But if we are able to, just the way other NDAs, just the way other top officials of government were given an opportunity at the floor of the House of Representatives now to come and defend themselves and say a lot. There were allegations and counter allegations in this whole saga and drama. Why is this man, why is his own be the main actor involved in the whole of this saga now? Why is he being shrouded in secrecy? Why is it being silenced?
So many things still unpack about that particular story. But let me take this as we wrap up here from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. It's on health, and I have to take this. This is worsening financial condition accelerates memory loss in older adults. This is according to studies. So money must be made.
Of course,
it's a reality. If you really do not use your memory.
All right, I think one thing that we have to really take seriously is the fact that when you don't have money, you tend to think a lot and can lead to so many other issues. Like it has identified now, the study has identified memory loss in older adults as one of the reasons in this particular context. So let's just say the government need to do more, people need to strive harder to ensure that they improve their financial status now to prevent memory loss one way or the other. So a lot of things can as well lead to this memory loss, I think, but this is just one of the things that can actually lead to risk.
And this is not just trying to cap. This is according to study.
Research reveals.
When we see research,
but it's a reality actually.
Attention. I don't want to lose my memory. All right, away from that, let me take this from the Punch newspaper. This morning is on Oshun 2026 as Oyinlola Let the PDP faction dumps Adeleke backs APC Oyebamiji. Tax revenue hit 27 trillion naira after 113% surge, according to reports this morning. And the lead story for the Punch newspaper this morning says presidency, Atiku in fresh war of words over killings. The writer says ex-VP, ex-vice president, that means to say fault Tinubu on security. President rallies clerics against insurgency. These are some of the stories across the pages of the Punch newspaper this morning.
I want to pick it up from the front page, from the big bold one you just hinted now from the front page of the Punch this morning, talking about presidency Atiku in fresh war of words. I don't think there's any day that has gone by in recent time that we don't have this fracas and this back and forth between Atiku. In fact, last week I did mention on this program that these days Atiku has even been more vocal than Peter Obi in this contest in attacking the government, in attacking its policies. It's not just Peter Obi. I mean, not just the
Let's
government.
not use the word attack. I think it's just trying to highlight what they should be seeing and that they're not saying.
The thing is, every working government should be in a democratic system.
The
open to
opposition,
and some of those things. Even the present leadership does that more when they were in the opposition.
Of course,
we were the one that came out sometimes back. If you remember that we were, talking to the opposition party that they are not doing fine as an opposition party. You are supposed to put the ruling party on their toes and some of those things, and I think that's what they are up to.
But why the Atiku had to wait until this election period for him to start speaking? Over the years, for the past 2-3 years, what were they doing? What were they saying? They relatively came to campaign. After he lost the last election, he went back to his base, out of the country, and just build up to the election, they came back and they started speaking. But in this context, like that, we should not throw away the baby and the bad water. Let's focus on even the specific issues he's trying to make right now. Yes, are they making sense? Are there things that are critical? Is it trying to pinpoint some errors and flaws in the way this particular administration is governing the country right now? He's specifically talking about the killings. Now he's so concerned about the killings, which we start seeing. Yes, of a truth, in recent times we've been seeing these terrorists being decimated in large numbers by the military. We've been seeing the confusion in their camps and all. But on the flip side, we still have killings almost on a daily basis in this country. So these are some of the facts that Atiku is trying to keep the government in his toes. And then the government on this other part now. You did mention Matthew last week. You highlighted the need for constructive criticism and how the government, should take it. They should not always be and look at it like you are attacking us, like a matter of we must fight you if you try to say anything, against our administration. This is like a pathway, that this administration has been following. Anybody that says anything remotely unconnected to anything that they feel is they are not satisfied with. We see the way they come out for this particular individuals. And in most cases, send security operatives sometimes, against most of these people. So these are things that
I think that's what somebody like Peter Obi has been doing. On some of his postulations and argument has been constructive. And recently, you notice that it hasn't been like the way it used to be, because some of the things he has said recently were the threat to his life, and he might not even be alive to even context for elections. So some of those things might be understood. And
Adeloke's camp right now for the APC. It is. I'm sure he felt, or he and his camp now are feeling that our interest will be best served under the APC. Maybe they feel APC has really positioned himself and they are set to wrest power from Adeleke, and so he's already positioned himself and his camp now to align with the party that will be coming into play. I won't be surprised if Adeleke finally emerges as the things that we've been seeing, the drama back and forth, cross carpeting right left and center in our polity, as the build up to the election.
All right.
Let me make a comment on this. Of course, our constitutional and some of those things are not based on prophecy, but a prophet came out and said last week now, popular prophet came to say that the Osun State citizens should be very careful of who they vote for, because it might determine how the next 16 years of the state will look like. However, what I want to say to the people of Osun is that, number one, you want to check track record. You want to know, this is not about party now. The politics in Nigeria has gone beyond party. You have to look at the individual. What does the interest of the individual look like? Does it serve our interest? Politicians are there to be in office to serve us. They are there. We are like more like that. That's why.
Now, are they actually seeing it from that perspective?
Nigerians don't know their rights. That's part of the things we need to see as part of.
For those that are,
we don't.
For those that seem to know their rights, what have they gotten in return?
Well, we are getting better.
The saga of October 2020, understand, is still in I mean, what's it called? It's still in memory of so many people. So that has taught them a lot of lessons, and they are not coming out to really speak up.
But nothing will change with on the platform.
The fact is that people are still speaking up. We know activists that are still there pushing the government on a daily basis. I don't want to start mentioning it here.
Okay.
We've had some of most of them on our program here. Live. We know most of them that we interact with on a daily basis, Matthew. So people have been coming to be vocal. They'll be speaking up in irrespective of whatever.
All right, let me just take this one lastly on the Nation newspaper. Okay, Natasha's 16-year-old daughter builds equips orphanage in Kogi community. Moving on, Diri's daughter's spouse joined in a glamorous wedding. And then away from that, FCCPC Lagos resolves over 15,000 consumer complaints. Then moving on, Oyetola accuses Adeleke of frustration, dismisses blame game, and Governor Adeleke condemns the minister's remarks over endorsement. All of this on the Nation newspaper this morning.
Just before we call it a wrap, now moving to the Guardian newspaper this morning, 2027, articles camp divided amidst call for reform ahead of campaign season. And on 2027, INEC extend deadline of submission of governorship candidate list. That's you find out on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And at DDG, Nigerians will be paying 53 trillion naira in subsidy without reform. That's on page 3 also for the Guardian newspaper. And the bold one written for the Guardian says insecurity, low ROI drag 18 states from digital access to connectivity. Then on the issue of right groups alleged 6,000 Igbo families in agony over missing loved ones. And finally this morning I have this one saying aviation union issues airline final 3-day strike notice. That you find on page 4. All of these stories across the pages of the Guardian newspaper this morning.
Well, on that note, we call it a wrap on today's edition of From the Dailies. In case you miss any part of today's show, you can go to our Facebook page and YouTube to go and catch a glimpse of today's edition, and you can drop your comments there. Well, thanks to everybody who made this a success. From the engineering section, we have the engineer Matthew Forishe. From the production end, we have Erioluwa Timothy. After my friends in the studio, I have Kadijat or Lago.